So this is like literally my first time that I am doing this at work. Yeah, I just had to check if my microphone is in properly. Like, I know it is December and I'm still like at work right now. But yeah, we don't complain, do we? Yeah, so busy with a project at work. Yeah, we don't complain. This is actually the first time that I am vlogging at work, and it kind of feels a little bit weird because it's the first time. I think it's because it's the first time that it feels a little bit weird. Today I really just want to talk about the Sony a6400. I've had my camera for 2 years to date. I like it more and more as I use it more and more because it's a pretty great camera. And obviously I initially got my Sony a6400 because people were saying that it's good in low light, Sony specifically. People were saying that Sony specifically is good in low light. And also I wanted to try log profiles. And Sony has log profiles, you know? As you can see, the video isn't that shaky. So my personal thinking with regards to the Sony a6400 is that it is literally the best camera that I've had personally, and I've not owned a Sony camera before, so this is my first Sony camera. So the reason for me buying a Sony camera, because obviously I used to own Canon cameras. So my very first camera was a Canon T6, and my second camera was the Canon 250, which obviously had 4K capabilities, but unfortunately it was a cropped 4K, and it was quite annoying actually, because you would think that your footage would be crystal clear, but at the end of the day it was just like really cropped and yeah, annoying actually. So the Sony a6400 might be a few years old, but it's still a very reliable camera. And as I just said, like this is my first Sony, and for me, I actually bought the Sony because I wanted to start practicing color grading properly. Because like I said, the previous cameras that I had was cameras that did not have log capabilities. So I wasn't actually able to film log footage and then obviously throw it into my editing software and color grade or color correct my footage. So buying myself a Sony kind of gave me the opportunity to start doing that. And then the second thing would be the eye autofocus. It really has great autofocus capabilities, and I think that it is probably not talked about a lot or dealt with a lot, but the Sony a6400 just has really quick autofocus, you know. But I think the fact that it has most of the capabilities that's necessary, and its lens interchangeable, and it's quite small. It has a cute little small body, but it is weather sealed, which is pretty great, because I mean, in rainy situations, if a little bit of rain get onto your camera, you know that it's safe, right? So the Sony a6400 has great 4K video capabilities. It is not cropped 4K, it's sharp and absolutely beautiful. And the fact that you can color grade your footage makes it even so much better, because now you feel like a professional. Great dynamic range, obviously, and with all the log profiles that you can use, you get a pretty amazing looking picture. And I know that some people struggle with Sony's colors, but to be honest with you, I haven't really struggled with the colors that much. um, I know obviously it takes a bit of practice to get used to, a different camera if you're used to a different camera. This is my personal experience of having a Sony a6400 versus having a Canon 250D, because obviously that's my personal experience and what I've noticed, especially for just running and gunning and stuff like that. So obviously the Sony a6400 has a very reliable build. The magnesium alloy body really holds up. And I think if you are really a busy creator, like, you're out and about, you're vlogging, it'll really hold up. And I'm busy shooting on my kit lens right now, the 16 to 50 millimeter, and I must say it's really not a bad lens. It's actually really nice to have a 16 to 50 millimeter range. And obviously the Sony a6400 is a crop sensor, so when shooting 50 millimeter, it actually amounts to 75 millimeter because of the crop factor. When you're trying to shoot something that's far away, it helps a little bit. And obviously it's not a telephoto, but it really does help a little bit to get something that is a little bit further away from you for photography. I must say that it is a really excellent choice for photography. And right now I've only been talking about video because that's what I'm actually using my Sony a6400 for. And yeah, so but if you are planning on using it for photography, just know that it is a 24 megapixel camera and it takes amazing pictures. Okay, so let's focus just a little bit on the downsides to the Sony a6400. And obviously these don't really bother me because, like I said, I am really happy with my camera. A lot of lenses do have the built-in stabilization, and it really does help. So the Sony a6400 does not have IBIS, the in-body stabilization. Sony cameras in general being really great in low light. And obviously, yes, the Sony a6400 is one of the more beginner type of Sony cameras, like the ZV-10. I've tested my Sony a6400 in low light and it's pretty good. So I know that some people do say that it is not good in low light, but for me personally, it actually is. Yeah. Okay, so I'm not really worried about the modern connectivity. I'm not really worried about the modern connectivity issues that the Sony a6400 has. For example, there is an app that I use to connect my tablet to my Sony a6400 as a external screen, right, to see myself better on the camera, of course. But like, I can only connect my Sony a6400 to my tablet with a cable. I can't connect it with Wi-Fi or with Bluetooth. Okay, so who would I recommend the Sony a6400 to? I would say a vlogger, a beginner YouTuber, someone doing travel vlogs, or someone traveling in general and wants to take some really good pictures. So I would say that the Sony a6400 would be really great for travel photography. It really holds up well when it comes to photography. And I'm really impressed, actually, even shooting with the kit lens. It looks amazing, Picture quality, even in video, picture quality is pretty great. I do sit-down videos with my Sony a6400, so I would say that it's also great for doing sit-down YouTube videos, running and gunning, vlog on the go. Like you see, it's not that shaky. A alternative to the Sony a6400, I would probably recommend the ZV-10 because at least it has a headphone jack. But for photographers, I don't really know, because it doesn't have a viewfinder like the Sony a6400. Sony a6400 actually has a viewfinder, so it makes it easier to take pictures with the Sony a6400. But it's all about preference, because obviously you can still take pictures with your ZV-10. It's just that I would love a viewfinder, obviously, when I'm taking pictures, because it makes things so much easier. Where it does fall short to the Sony a6400 is that it does not have weather sealing. And like I said earlier, the weather sealing is actually a really great thing to have. Like, you know, a rugged body is better to have than something that can break easily. But we all know that Sony cameras are really great quality, so I don't be so worried about that unless it's raining all the time and you basically have to take out your camera while it's raining and stuff like that. That being said, I think that the Sony a6400 is still a really great option for vlogging, for, you know, even doing video work, because like I said, the Sony a6400 is really great in low light for me personally, as I've tested it. So yeah, with all of that being said, I think I'm gonna say goodbye now, and you guys should have a wonderful day today, and I'll see you in the next video.